Hey guys, it's Jen with Card Zen by Jen. Thanks so much for joining me for another Manic Monday 5-minute card. My name is Jennifer Blaszak. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Pennsylvania. If you do not already have a demonstrator, I would be blessed and honored if you would choose me to be your demonstrator. You can find more of my stuff on cardzenbyjen.com. You can also find me on Facebook, and you can join my private group which is Stamping with Card Zen by Jen. And just ask for permission to come in. I'll certainly let you in. But today we are going to be doing this super quick, super easy card, but oh my God, it is so cute, so adorable. I am going to change up the inside just slightly because I decided I want to use some more of this beautiful designer series paper. Let me show you real quick what we're going to be using today. I'll set these aside for just a second. We are going to be using the Arched Wishes, and the reason I'm using that is because it has this really cute saying right here that says, "Cheers to another year of you." So we're going to be using that and the happy birthday. We are going to be using the Everyday Arches dies. We're actually going to be using the largest die from this, so I'll go ahead and get that out. I do store my dies on just a very thin piece of magnet to kind of keep them all lassoed in there. So I'll grab that out. The paper that we're using today, again, is the Celebratory Sips. These are 12 by 12 sheets of paper. I absolutely love these. I just recently used these for a sip and stamp event. I have used so much of this that I've gone through 2 packets of it already. I'm on my 3rd. So, but they are so easy to use. They make the cutest cards. They're 2-sided sheets. So this one has the small drinks, and on the other side is that strawberry slush color. This is so that you can make your tall and short glasses of drinks. You can become your own bartender. I'm going to share in another video what I did with that. These are the larger drinks, and this is the piece that we're going to be using today. And we're simply going to fussy cut out some of these drinks to use. We're also going to be using this one today. This is the one with just the fruit pieces on it, and we're going to use that one today as well. They enclosed a floral one, and I'm a little baffled by this as to how this goes into Celebratory Sips, but Stampin' Up!, they love their flowers, and flowers sell. So I'm not going to argue. These are beautiful flowers, and the other side, I've used this side a lot. Again, it goes back to that Timid Tiger, and I absolutely love it. I used so much of this that I don't even have a full sheet left to show you. The flowers on this are really pretty. Again, baffled by the Celebratory Sips, but I've used the other side of this, and that's what we're going to use today. We are going to be using this Old Olive side. This Old Olive green side is what we're going to be using. So go ahead and pull that out. We're also going to need a sheet of basic white, just an 8.5 by 11. And then we're going to need a sheet of your Timid Tiger. For inks, we are using just Old Olive. We're only using 1 ink on this card. So we're using Old Olive. I am going to use the crumb cake, the light crumb cake. I'm going to use that for some shadowing effect. And we are going to be using, for embellishments, we're going to be using, I turned those upside down, sorry about that, the 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls. These are really nice. They work great on cards. The height of them is more stable, like less, so that you can honestly send them through an envelope without any worries. I really do like them. They're beautiful. So let's get started. We are going to cut first. So let me bring in my trimmer. We're going to do some cutting. All we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half. We're going to take this to 8.5 by 5.5. Again, you'll be able to get 2 cards out of this one sheet, but we're only making one today, so let's set the other one aside. I'll make that other one later. You're going to take your basic white, and I need a piece that is, I like to just cut these 5.5 as well. I need a pretty big piece for that arch. And if I do 5.5, 5.5, then I can use this other piece of 5.5 later. I am not going to cut this one for you, but the inside piece, maybe I will cut this for you. My inside piece is going to be 3.5 by 4 3/4. The reason I use 3.5 by 4 3/4 is because I can get 5 of these inside pieces out of one sheet of basic white, 8.5 by 11. Let me just really quick show you how I do that. If anybody else runs classes, and you know, the cost of paper has gone up. It's just the way that it is. The cost of paper has gone up. So let me show you how I get 5 inside sheets real quick. So we're gonna start with our full sheet. We are gonna cut this at 4 3/4. Put that aside. And now we're gonna turn our 4 3/4 and we're gonna cut 3.5. Again, 3.5. And again, 3.5. Set this piece aside. I always keep my scraps. I truly am a scrapbooker at heart. Never throw anything away that you can possibly use later. So I keep that small piece for whenever I need to do any kind of sentiment. Now I'm going to take that other piece that was left, and we are also going to trim that to 3.5. Again, you can take this piece, use it for something else later, or you can just toss it. Now we are going to take it and go long ways. Oops, I almost did that wrong. And we are going to do that at 4 3/4. And again at 4 3/4. I just got new contacts that are supposed to make it so that I do not need to put readers on any longer. The jury's still out. I'm trying to make them work. Hold on to this piece. This is a nice, good piece that you can use for scrap. That's one of those pieces that I will hold on to. So look at that. Out of that 8.5 by 11, I got 5 inside pieces to use for my cards. So I just cut those every once in a while and set them aside. And it works out perfectly for me. We are going to also cut this piece. And I want to cut this at, this is just that extra piece that I had. I'm going to cut this at 6 by 2 1/4. This is going to be for our envelope flap. So the envelope flap on the back, I'm going to show you how to do this with your envelopes. And to me, it was the perfect way to use up that flower paper. All right, let's get our things together and move this aside, and we'll keep going. So I'm going to bring in, we'll get rid of the trimmer. I'm going to bring in my die embossing machine. You do have to use your big one for this one. So this is one of those times where we got to bring in the big boy. Let me grab my pieces here. All right, so we have everything that we need. Like I said before, the arch that we're using, we're taking the big one. We're going to use that big arch. Put your basic white down, and you can actually run this, because I cut this at 5.5. I can run this sideways. So go ahead and get that going and roll that through. I didn't get that lined up very well. It's harder to do than you think whenever you're trying to keep your head out of the video. All right, easy peasy. That's our only die cut. That's it. That's our only one. So let's put this baby away. I love how this folds up. It makes it so easy to handle, especially if you're going to craft retreats. It works out perfectly and just gets it tidied up and out of the way pretty quick. All right, so set that aside. So let's go ahead and take our timid tiger, and we are going to fold that in half. Use your bone folder to crease it. Okay. And then we are going to go ahead and start stamping on our arched piece. You are going to need your big block. If you don't have a big block like this, you can use your Stamparatus. I have used both. Both work out fine. It's all good. And if you're doing a class and you have people who have some hand issues, arthritis, that kind of stuff, you can certainly use the Stamparatus with this. I just did that for a recent class. It worked out perfectly. So let's go ahead and load our block with our stamp. And then we are going to add the ink. When you have a stamp that's this big, it's easier to take the ink to the stamp. So we are going to add our ink. Make sure we got that on there. All right, let's see if I can do this without getting my head in it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm one of those people with the arthritis issues. Okay. There we go. Works. Not perfect, but that'll do. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and wipe that off. And then we will go ahead and I don't want to, while we have our ink out, let's go ahead and do the inside of the card. It's just easier that way, don't you think? So I'm gonna do just that little happy birthday. I love the cursive. I absolutely love the cursive. I think they should go back to teaching cursive in the schools. I think it's a huge mistake not to. I don't care what's been taken over by AI and computers and everything else. Because this is so long, all I did was turn my D-size block so that I could get the whole thing on it, and I just do it diagonal. Sometimes that helps me hold on to it better too. So we'll ink that up really good. And we're just gonna put that along the top. Perfect, done. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to cut the inside of the piece, but we'll get there. We'll go back to it, no worries. Okay, so peoples, fussy cutting. Fussy cutting, fussy cutting. I hate fussy cutting. I absolutely hate fussy cutting, but I love the images on this so much that I am truly willing to fussy cut it. So what I want to do is I want two different images, obviously, and I want to do a short glass and a tall glass. I just felt like that put things together better. So I'm just going to cut around this one. I'm not being careful with this. This one does not have a garnish. So I'm gonna cut around that one. And then I'm also gonna let's take this one because it does have a garnish. Again, I'm not being careful right now. I am just getting it off my bigger piece of paper so that I can work with it easier. Okay, now, again, I hope that I am not getting my head in here because I didn't do anything with my hair today. It's in a braid. All right, so fussy cutting. You either love it or you hate it. Truth be told, I hate it. I hate it. I have a very good friend who absolutely loves it, and she uses it to relax. I probably drink to relax. So I am not quite sure about how putting a pair of scissors in my hands helps me to relax, but stamping helps me relax. So I'm gonna go with it. Do the best that you can. There you go. It really is quick and simple. They made these designs so cute, so simple. Even me, who hates to fussy cut, can cut right around these glasses. They're so cute. Okay, we're almost there. Believe it or not, we are almost done with this card. All right, get rid of that. Now, I always preach that you stamp before you stick. So for that reason, I stamped the sentiment before I cut out and stuck my pieces down. Now that I have those, let's go ahead and we'll add some glue. And we're gonna put the tall one to the left. We are gonna grab some dimensionals and we are gonna put the shorter one to the right. Yes, I throw my dimensional backings on the floor. It's just what I do. I will clean them up later, I promise, Mom. I really will. But when my husband comes up here, oh, I got glue on that. I don't know how that happened. When my husband comes up here in my craft cave and looks and he sees all those dimensional backings on my floor, he's like, wow, you've been really busy. You've been working hard. Let me make you dinner tonight, honey. Let me take you out for dinner. So now that we have our glasses down on our arch, take your light crumb cake and all you're gonna do, you won't believe how, so you see how this is just on the white and it's just blah on the white. Go around the very bottom with a little bit of crumb cake. They call this grounding, and I never used to believe it, but once you see it enough times, your mind, when you look at it, really doesn't even see it. But it's amazing what it does to those glasses and how that creates just that grounding effect to where you really believe that they're sitting there on something. So let's add some dimension, or add some embellishment. You really could whip out a bunch of these cards really fast, really fast. Let me see, what colors did I use here? Let's use, grab my take your pick tool. I call these babies the Swiss, oops, let me grab the other one. I call these babies the Swiss Army knife of crafters. They have the putty at the bottom, which makes it really easy for you to grab onto your embellishment and stick it down on your paper. Grab another one. Now to do that, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go straight down on the embellishment. You won't be able to pick it up. You got to go from the side and scoop it. So go from the side, scoop it. How's that? So easy, so easy. And again, if you have any kind of like arthritis or anything with your fingers, that tool is so nice to be able to use. What I do with my glue. All right, we're just going to glue this to the front of our card base now. All right, so that goes on the front. Look how cute that is. Oh my God, it's adorable. Okay, now I told you I neglected when we were doing our trimming, I apologize. I neglected to trim that piece that we are gonna put on the inside. So let me bring my trimmer back over. Oh dear, for this, it might not be a 5-minute card. We might have to have like a 6-minute card. So I am just going to trim a piece of this. I did this as 1 1/4 inches. You can do whatever you want. Oops, that's my scorer. That won't help. I did 1 1/4 inches and then by 3.5. Perfect. Set your scraps aside. We won't need that any longer. Let's bring back in our inside piece with the happy birthday on it. Let's add some glue. And again, we stamped before we stick it in our card, right? That way, if you happen to mess up, you get a halo, anything like that, you know, the blessings of this is that you just flip it back over and do it again. I honestly have had it where I've used the front and messed up. I've used the back and messed up, and I've had to go on to another sheet, and that's okay. It happens. No big deal. It's just paper. All right, so now we have our happy birthday inside. How cute is that? Now let's do our envelope. So what did I do with my envelope? Oh, dear heavens, I stuck it somewhere. Let's grab another one. Just grab another one. Okay, so we're using just the typical A2 size envelopes. We have our piece that we cut to 6 by 2 1/4. And all that you're gonna do is you are going to very easily, this might be hard to do with my new contacts, but we're just gonna add a little bit of glue, do this very light, right around the edge of your flap. Right around the edge of your flap. And now, bring in your piece and just line it up the best that you can. Line it up the best that you can. To come down a little bit. And then to make sure that you have it, just bend it over. Just bend it over and see it needs to come down just a little bit more. So let me just bring that down just a little bit more. Again, the beauty of using that liquid glue is that you have some wiggle room to get it to where you need it to be. There, it's better. Flatten it out. And then you are going to take your paper snips, your scissors, whatever you have, and you are going to just go right around the flap. You can do this with any of your envelopes, any of your designer series paper. This is a great way to use up maybe like some designer series paper that you just aren't completely into. It's a great way to use it up. There you go. So now we have our card and we have our envelope, cute as can be, and there's our inside. So again, the Celebratory Sips, the DSP, I absolutely love it. I'm on my 3rd pack. I have a feeling that I'm gonna end up going through at least 6 packs before it's all said and done, but I absolutely love it. I hope that you will too. So there's our 5-minute Manic Monday card. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to see what you do with this and see your other, just your other stamping projects. So there you have it. Have a great day. Happy stamping.